Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I can't believe these cards are less than $1 right now. Pick them up right away. Let's jump into it. So first up, let's start with some incredible creatures, including Luminous Broodmoth, which when that first came out, I remember that one was like $10+. It was an insane card. It still is an insane card, of course, but its price is now insanely low at just 96 cents. So pick this one up and all the other ones on this episode as well in that card list link in the description below. Regardless, a 3/4 insect with flying for 4 mana in white. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, returns the battlefield under its owner's control, with a flying counter on it. That is an insane effect. That is literally going, hey, you know what? Reanimate all creatures that die, essentially. Just get a second, chance with them, get them, basically undying or persist. But instead of it being a downside, it's kind of also an upside because they get flying now. So there you go. So this is an amazing card in a lot of different strategies out there. I mean, just like a big beefy creature strategy can utilize it as long as there are not a lot of flyers in that strategy. Or, yeah, just like aristocrat style. Just utilizing this as a free kind of, again, undying or persist type effect. Absolutely incredible. Just 96 cents. Pick it up now. Moving on, Progenitor Mimic. This card is so much fun. A 0/0 shapeshifter for 6 mana in Simic. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it gains at the beginning of your upkeep if this creature isn't a token. Put a copy of it on the battlefield, basically. You get a token copy of it. So, with this one, you're going to be going, okay, what's the best creature on the board? All right, I get a copy of that right away with this. And then next upkeep, I get another one. Then on my next upkeep, I get another one. And then another one. You literally are just saying, whatever the best creature on the board is, I've got an engine that makes me copies of it. And I already start off with one of those too. This is an absolutely crazy card. It's so good with so many different types of strategies out there. Or even just, hey, my opponents have really good creatures. Cool. Now I get your really good creature and I get many copies of it. Also, of course, works to populate very well. A very fun card. Pick it up. Speaking of fun, an insane Eldrazi that is insanely close to $1 for this episode, 99 cents. A 5/7 Eldrazi with Devoid. We've got Sire of Stagnation for 6 mana in Dimir. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, the player exiles the top 2 cards of their library, and you draw 2 cards. Now, exiling the top 2 cards of their library, that's nice. I mean, you're not going to, mill anyone out with that, most likely, unless they're playing, infinite landfall strategy, and you're like, okay, maybe I'll get them then. What matters here is, hey, drawing 2 cards every single time an opponent puts a land into play. My goodness, that is insane. Again, with just each trip on the table, let's just say that your opponents each hit their land drops. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3 times 2. That's 6 cards that you are drawing with each trip on the table. Of course, consider when you're playing against, again, landfall type strategies, green strategies with ramp. You can draw even more than that. It is an insane draw engine for you. That also just annoys players when, it exiles cards that they wanted anyways, too. So there you go. An amazing card. Pick it up. Let's take a look at the next card, though, with Ruthless Woware, a 4/4 Elf Rogue for 5 mana in black. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player sacrifices a non-elf creature. Now, here's the thing. You might be thinking, well, I can only play this in elf decks. No, that is not true. This is an amazing card that says, you know what, everyone? We are just going to be sacrificing things done on everyone's upkeep, each player's upkeep. You're going to have each player go, oh no, it's my turn. Oh no, I've got to sacrifice a non-elf. So, obviously, it's a great way to just get rid of creatures. And of course, if you are in a deck that either goes wide and doesn't care about certain creatures or actively wants to sacrifice certain creatures, like an aristocrat-style strategy, of course, you can take advantage of that as well. It is a great repeat edict effect that, again, is not just for elf decks. Make sure you pick it up. Wait until you see this next one, though, because Mana Gorger Hydra is underneath $1 right now at 97 cents. A 1/1 Hydra trample for 3 mana in green. When a player casts a spell, you get a counter on this. Now, this is one that just grows throughout the game. This is one that literally is just going, hey, you know what? I might start off small, but we're playing Commander. We've got a multiplayer game, and many players, including my owner, essentially, are going to be casting spells, and I get benefits whenever that happens. I get more and more counters. This is not just for again, counter-based strategies. Of course, counter-based strategies are going to love it, but of course, it can be for a stompy strategy. It can just be a solid card in a lot of decks that utilize creatures because, again, it can become the biggest threat in the board in absolutely no time for such a low investment. Again, just 3 mana for this gem. Pick it up. Speaking of 3 mana for a gem, Bogart Trollwler, a 3/1 goblin for 3 mana in black. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Bojuka Bog, anyone? Yeah, this is a Bojuka Bog that basically doesn't take up a spot in your deck, kind of like Bojuka Bog. But also, this is one that, again, is essentially, well, a creature when you need it to be. Because on the backside, it is a land. Very simple, very effective, that can enter the battlefield untapped, unlike Bojuka Bog. Enters the battlefield, you can pay through life if you don't enter tapped, and it taps for a black. So, again, it is an MDFC that is highly valuable. Again, many players out there really underestimate just how good graveyard removal is and how key and crucial it can be. I mean, this can decimate certain decks. Certain graveyard-type strategies, reanimation strategies, are just gone if you exile their graveyard even once sometimes. So make sure you have a card like this in your deck, again, that doesn't really take up a spot and has a great effect. And of course, it's an ETB. You can utilize it multiple times, potentially, depending on your deck too. And if not, yeah, you got to land when you need it. One that gets slept on all the time is Planner Guide, a 1/1, I believe human, cleric, for a single white mana. Again, that was errated at some point, or, the Oracle text will tell you, but I think it's human. Anyways, for 4 mana and white, remove it from the game. Remove all creatures from the game. At the end of the turn, to those creatures to play under their control. This obviously has been errated to be exiling, but still, basically, this is one that says, hey, you know what? I am going to just sit and play. And when I need to, I can say everything goes away, and then everything comes back. This can be great for a lot of strategies out there. This can be a great effect for, well, ETBs and LTBs. Especially an ETB strategy where you're like, okay, yeah, I've just got a giant mass blink effect that I can utilize whenever I need to. Just go, okay, everyone go away, and then come back, and then I get all those ETBs again. Of course, that's not the only thing that you can do with this one, because again, it removes all creatures from the game, not just your own. There are very few blink effects out there that say, hey, you know what? Everything goes away, including my opponent's things too. So this can also just really hose token strategies. Of course, you're playing against someone that's got a bunch of tokens. You're like, all right, your little goblins over there, they're gone permanently, because again, tokens, when they leave, they're just gone. They're just gone. They don't come back. And of course, again, if someone's like, I'm going to attack you, you're like, no, don't attack me, or I'll just blink the attack. Go attack someone else. Thank you. Yeah, make deals with this one. Of course, utilize ETBs with this one. A lot of flexibility to it. A really cool card from back in Legions. Pick it up. Next up, Hana and Elena partners. Now, this one, whether you're playing it as a commander, which can be an amazing commander, or 199, it is great for certain kinds of strategies out there. 2/3 human ranger with first strike and reach for 4 mana in Gruul. Beginning of combat on your turn, put X counters on another creature you control, where X is Hana and Elena's power, gains haste till end of turn. It can be so good for a stompy type strategy, for a strategy you want to be really aggressive, for a counters-based strategy, for a power-based strategy, for an equipment strategy. It can be one where you say, you know what, I'm just going to get this commander a ton of power. I'm going to dish out that power, and then they're going to go to work. So effective in those kind of strategies out there. And also, of course, an amazing commander as well. Pick it up. Speaking of which, another amazing creature in the 99 and amazing commander as well. Lord of the Nazgul, a 4/3 Wraith Noble with flying for 5 mana in Dimir. Race you control protects from Ring Bearers. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 3/3 Black Wraith creature token with Menace. Then if you control 9 or more race you control a base power toughness 99 till end of turn, and it's 99 cents. Ironically, again, I just slipped up right there because 99 cents. Just realized that it's on point. Pick it up. This is one where, again, you essentially are going, hey, you know what? I've got like a Talrand, but a Talrand that can be so much more game ending. Because I'm making a bunch of 3/3s with Menace, so already difficult to block. But also, once I get to 9 of them, my goodness, all of a sudden, I'm going, yeah, they're all 9/9s, by the way, when they swing through. So that is an insane amount of game-ending damage coming through. Again, like a spell slinger type strategy, you can do so much work with this one. Of course, as a commander as well, pick it up. Speaking of spell slinger type strategies, let's move on to enchantments, and a card that is great in those types of strategies. Metallurgic Summonings, an enchantment for 5 mana in blue. Whenever you cast it, instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct, artifact, creature, token, where X that spell is converted mana cost by paying 5 mana in total in blue. Exile it, return all instant sorcery cards from your grave to your hand. Activate only if you control 6 or more artifacts. So, this is a card that says, hey, you know what? Let's make a lot of threats throughout the game. And again, based on the mana value of those spells that you're casting. So, big mana decks can utilize this. Spellslinger decks can utilize this. Instant sorcery, just general decks can utilize this. And of course, again, it is a great way to recur so many things. It's an amazing way to go, hey, you know what? Oh, I don't have a hand anymore, but I've got a lot of artifacts in play because of this card and maybe some mana rocks or whatever. Okay, cool. Let me bring everything back and then replay them. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing things you can do. This one is game ending. Pick it up. All right, buckle up for this next one. Again, a card that perpetually was $4 or $5, $6 or so. Finally down to just 89 cents. An enchantment for a single green mana, Harden Scales. If one or more counters we put on a creature you control that many, plus one counters are put on it instead. Yeah, that is quite the amazing effect. This is one that says, hey, you know what? Are you playing a counter strategy? Awesome. Good. You use this because it's so low to the ground. You just get it out, and all of a sudden it basically doesn't necessarily double up the effect, but for the most part does double up the effect of getting counters, because most effects of getting counters one at a time. So in that way it does double, but regardless, just an extra additional value every single time. It helps you so much throughout the game for just 1 mana. Pick it up. The final enchantment that I want to bring up is a weird but amazing one with Flickering Ward. It's an aura for a single white mana enchant creature. Enters the battlefield, choose a color. Enchant creature's protected with the chosen color. It doesn't remove Flickering Ward. And by paying a white, you return it back to its owner's hand. This is a very weird old card and one that is insanely good in Enchantress strategies. Absolutely insanely good. Simply because you can bounce it back to your hand. I mean, it's already just a good effect to be able to go, okay, I play it on something, it gets protection from that. Cool, it protects from those types of spells. It also protects it, from, things in combat. It's oh yeah, that player's playing mono green. Okay, I put this on my creature, you protect from green, I swing at the green player, they can't block, which is quite nice. That being said, just being able to go, okay, yeah, I play it. I'm playing an Enchantress strategy. I've got all these Enchantresses in play. Or I draw, again, let's say you have 2 Enchantresses in play. Cool, I draw 2 cards. All right, for 1 mana. I pay another mana, I bounce it back to my hand, I play it again. Cool, draw 2 more cards. Do it again. And again. Yeah, you see where this is going. You get so much value for this tiny enchantment. Pick it up. Next up, Eratic Portal. This again is a card that had not seen a reprint ever and was $14 or so. Now just 92 cents. 4 mana, artifact, pay 1, tap, return target creature to its owner's hand, unless its controller pays 1. This is a card that is so good and so flexible because, yeah, you can use it against your opponents. You definitely can. If an opponent taps out, you can bounce back their best creature to their hand and go, oh yeah, sorry, by the way, repeat bounce effect, thank you, you can't pay that 1. Okay, goodbye, creature. It also, in that way, can be kind of a taxing effect where your opponents kind of always, unless they want to lose one of their creatures, have to hold up 1 mana ready to go with this. Also, it is a way that you, of course, can bounce your own creatures. Again, if you're playing in a strategy that's got a creature, maybe your commander itself, that is a great cast trigger or great ETB trigger or great LTB trigger, go, okay, I'm going to bounce this creature back to my hand. I'm choosing not to pay the 1, obviously. So therefore, I get to bounce it back to my hand, utilize its effect again and again and again, and have so much fun, so much value with it. Pick it up. Continuing on, Mystic Forge, such a good card. An artifact 4/4. You look at the top card of your library anytime. Cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact or colorless non-land card. Tap, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. Are you playing a colorless deck or artifact deck just in general? This card is a shoo-in for that deck because this card is one that gives you so much insane value. Basically, turns the top of your library into a second hand, but kind of even better than that, it's again, if you keep having artifacts on the top of your library or colorless non-land cards, you're okay, play that. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, no, this is actually a land. I can't do that. Okay, tap, pay 1 life, exile it. Cool, okay. Oh, another one, play. Yeah, if you've got ways to move to the top of your library, ways to draw more cards, ways to utilize the top of your library, this is an insane card draw value engine for you. And, of course, with artifacts, yeah, there's some crazy things you do. This Sensei's Divining Top and a mana reducer equals infinite fun shenanigans time. Have fun with this card. If Krenko was an artifact, Krenko would be a Horn of Gondor, but for humans, I guess. It's for 3 mana ledger artifact. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 human. By paying 3, you tap, and you create X 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens for X number of humans you control. Basically, double up your humans every single time you do this. That is absolutely absurd, absolutely insane. Of course, in decks that can take advantage of this trigger that have other ways to make more humans, just like a human tribal deck in general, or ones that can untap this and might activate it multiple times in the same turn, or ones that can double up tokens. You get so much value out of this. It's absolutely crazy. Pick it up. Speaking of crazy, a brand new card that is very reminiscent of Black Letter Forge and quite good as well. We've got Wrecking Ball Arm. Legendary artifact equipment for just 2 mana. Equipped to a legendary creature for 3, or regular equipped for 7. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 7/7. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. No more chump blocking my creature. Making your creature have base power and toughness 7/7 is a massive boost for many creatures out there, especially with certain commanders out there that might have a very low power and toughness. This turns them into a 3-shot KO no matter what, which is fantastic. And of course, again, can't be chump blocked. And again, against certain strategies out there that are like, go wide token strategies, you might just be unblockable against their entire deck, essentially, too. It's a great card for equipment strategies, for Voltron strategies, for just ones that care about their commander and want to get their commander through and hit harder. Pick it up. Get ready for what's coming next, because your opponents will not be ready for it with Persist. Yeah, this is a great card. A sorcery for just 2 mana in black. Turn target non-legendary creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. This is a great reanimation effect. Again, when it comes to reanimating a creature, typically like a zombify type effect is 4 mana generally. Just like a no frills, like, okay, 4 mana, get 1 thing back. This is just 2 mana. This is half that price, which is insane. Now, there is a restriction to it and a slight downside, sure. Can't be a legendary creature. So again, if you're in a legendary travel deck, don't use this, okay? But if you're not, use it. And again, that -1/-1, okay, that's like not that really big of a downside to you at all when it comes to you getting a massive creature back again for just 2 mana. And it's like, oh, it's slightly smaller. Okay, who cares? And if you ever happen to say like blink it or reset that creature, or again get a +1 counter on that creature, it negates that. Keep all that in mind. Yeah, just 2 mana to reanimate something is insanely cheap. So, with that in mind, stitched together. Yeah, just 90 cents right now. Sorcery for black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Threshold. Return that creature to your graveyard to the battlefield instead of there are 7 more cards in your graveyard. Again, 2 mana to get a creature back out of your graveyard back to your hand. That's not all that great, but not all that terrible. That being said, being able to go, oh, hey, you know what? Actually, I've got Threshold. Wizards, bring back Threshold. It's really cool. I love it. I think that was back in Odyssey. Anyways, bring it back. And yeah, all of a sudden, instead, again, for just 2 mana, going right back out onto the battlefield. That is insane. That is incredible. Pick it up now. Next up, some really sick new art for Blink Moth Nexus. A land for tapping just a single, color. You're like, okay, cool, yeah, it just does that. All right, well, it's like basically a waste. Oh, but wait, there's more. Pay 1. This land becomes a 1/1 Blink Moth artifact creature with flying until end of turn. Still a land. Pay 1, tap target Blink Moth creature gets +1 until end of turn. Yeah, just being basically a creature land that can tap and that can become an evasive creature. That can be absolutely huge. On top of that, keep in mind it does become an artifact as well. So if you've got like affinity for artifacts, if you've got anything that cares about the number of artifacts you have in play, that also counts too. But yeah, just being able to make a land into a creature, there are very few solid ones out there. This is a great one where it's like, all right, become a creature. You're an evasive creature already. If you've got ways to bump this, you got ways to get through. If you've got other Blink Moth creatures too, of course you can take advantage of those as well. It's a very solid card and some really cool art. Pick it up. Finally, we've got High Market, a land that can tap right color. So a land that can tap to sacrifice a creature and you gain 1 life. Very simple, very effective, very amazing. If you are playing in a Riskrat style strategy, any kind of a strategy that might have a commander that actually wants to be sacrificed, wants to get taken out, maybe has an LTB, a death trigger, etc., 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 maybe a life gain deck. This is an amazing card. Again, especially for Riskrat style that actually have creatures that actually want to die all the time. So yeah, a great card. Or Child of Lara at 99 lands. Check that episode out. But ask your friends first if they're okay with you playing that one, because that one can be quite annoying. Pick it up. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.